Well, welcome to Qigong. The storm missed us here where I live. It went just south and we didn't get much rain, but I expect some people maybe did. But it has cooled things off a little bit. So that's nice. So I'm dropping down into the standing meditation posture. And letting the belly be very soft. And let the breath be natural and deep. And let's sense into the body, the felt sense of the body. And there are a lot of qualities to this sense. Maybe on the bottoms of our feet we can feel pressure. Maybe we can feel heat. Maybe tingling. If there's a little pain somewhere, we'll feel that. We can sense into the alignment of our bones, of our spine, and of our whole skeletal system, sensing into if things feel aligned. We can feel the presence of our organs, or that we can feel the fullness of our torso. We can feel the liquid in our mouths, maybe in our eyes. You can maybe feel our clothes or the air. There are a lot of details, different aspects to this felt sense. But whatever the aspects are, it is the sense of touch, the sense of feeling. And today we're going to shift out of the reality that's composed of objects and more into the flow or the energy. So standing, we can sense, we can feel all these different qualities of this body, inside it and outside it. And then dropping down another level, just what is this sense of touch, the sense of feeling? What, aside from what it is we're feeling, the body, and aside from all the different qualities of it, what is it? What is feeling? So this is the kind of inquiry that we can do with the mind that just takes us that little next step deeper. So opening our eyes, we can see objects, can see form and color. And we're used to looking at objects when we open our eyes. And so the same with feeling. For a moment, let's take the attention away from all these objects and just into seeing itself. What is seeing? How does it arise? How does it manifest? What is it? Seeing. Touching, seeing, hearing. What is silence? So just using this technique of inquiry a little to just not get caught in the senses, the sense objects. And this is what we're sensing here is qi. So this is what we'll be exploring today. The same with the mind as with the body. All senses are funneled into the mind through the nervous system and are all filtered through the mind and perceived. Same with thoughts or contents of mind, thoughts, feelings, dreams, imagination, everything that happens in the mind is funneled through the brain and perceived. So rather than focusing on the thoughts, there's a space around the thoughts. There's a flow of energy that manifests as thoughts. What is thinking itself? How do thoughts manifest? What are they? What is the process of thinking? So, applying this to body and to mind, which are the same. So just a little heads up as to where we're headed here. Okay, so let's go ahead and bow to the 7 directions, starting with the north. And let's just pause here, because we're all oriented north, we know that. But from the point of view that's bigger, from the point of view of space, there is no north. So, okay, bowing to the north, which doesn't exist. Turning, bowing to the east. Which doesn't exist. Bowing to the south, which is a construction. And bowing to the west, which is conditioned. And up, extend, down, within. Okay, now let's begin by loosening up our neck. We want the body to be relaxed and supple as much as it can be, not tight or tense. Pain in its many forms tends to narrowly focus our attention on the pain or on the tension, whether it's conscious or unconscious. It keeps pulling our attention back to the stress, and so it isolates us. It takes us a little farther away from relaxation and formlessness and openness. Okay, and then just okay, and let's go into 3 backwashes, each with 3 tree and spring, and placing our attention in the crown of the head, using our eyes to look inward and moving our view down the spine, opening, opening, opening. You can turn side to side if you like and sort of stretch out your sides, or you can go into a squat if you want to. Just hang comfortably upside down. Okay, and then in breath. So pointing with the fingers, the attention follows the fingers and the extension of the fingers. The attention goes right up, right through the middle of the body, and then out all around. Okay, let's do some side to side. So this one, as we turn to the right, we're just going to lift the shoulder. We're not lifting we're not bending the arm at the elbow. We're just going to lift the shoulder and lift the left shoulder, right, left. So we're turning at the waist, and then the hands, one is up, one is down. And then just be free with it. Let the turning of the waist move the arms. We're kind of looking back, watching the hands. Just be very loose with this, be very free. The heel comes up. Turning the body to look at the moon. So maybe you'll see a moon over your left shoulder, a moon over your right shoulder. Now this balances all the vertical movements we were doing. Just let the weight shift. Throw the arms out. Weight shift and the turning of the waist. And the arms are they're just hanging there. We're not lifting them. Okay, now let's reduce the movements a little. So in breath, out breath, at your own pace. Okay, last one. So come up, extend the hands, turn the waist. Again, it's the turning of the hips. Just be very free. As you dip, let that propel the arm. It's very effortless. Okay, one more each side. So open. Okay, last one. Okay, now let's do diagonal flying. So wind up and arm goes to the right. Come back. Okay, lower hand, the lower hand is going to go out. Shift the weight. Come back. Now the other hand's the lower hand. Turn. Wind up. Send it out. And the other hand does the movement that we like to call get back big dog. So you're kind of pushing with this hand, you're kind of pushing back. In Tai Chi, this is called diagonal flying. A little bit of cloud hands here in the middle. So do it with your breath. Exhale as you shoot the hands out. Or inhale, as long as you're in sync. Okay, let's do one more each side. Okay, now let's go into flying cranes. And we know many variations of this. So whatever you'd like to do. So there's just the simple one breath flying crane. There's the one where we drop down a little, drop down a little, drop down a little. And there's the outer crane and the inner crane. And then there's the one-legged crane. And you can step forward if you like. And then back. So any variations on those? You could do it much slower. Let's just do a few more. Okay, let's bring up our stool. Use the Lan Fa or the cosmic mudra or the yin yang mudra. And now the invitation is to using your breath and your eyes, go ahead and continue any of the movements, tree and spring, turning the body to look at the moon, diagonal flying, any of the cranes, any of these. Focusing on the sensations in the body and the visualization of the movement, whichever one you're doing. And now let's expand our sensory awareness farther out from the body and just sense the space around the body as it's moving in our mind and in the physical form, the space around the sitting body, the space around the moving body in the mind. Same space. All of this is being enacted in space. And so focusing on the space around the body moving in the mind, that is the space of the mind. This extends outward in all directions, boundless. The body's moving in the mind, in the middle of it. Okay, now the space has many qualities. So one of the qualities of this space, the boundless space, is joy. So with an in-breath, let's breathe in joy, sense it in the body, smile a little bit if you like. The joy of the breath, the joy of the body, the joy of the mind, the movement. This chi, this boundless space, energy, is joyous. And we can feel that joyous energy in the body. The body is one with that boundless, joyful quality. And let's take a couple more breaths. And now let's let the joy just dissolve. Just sense the space. The space in the mind. The space all around the body, infinitely out. And another quality of this spacious chi is happiness. There's a sense of happiness. Just sense it in the body, filling the body. There's a happiness to being alive. This is less energetic than joy. Smile a little bit. Okay, and when you're ready, you can let that go. Stay with it as long as you want, but you can eventually let it go. And just be this space. And we can feel the body, but we can sense this aliveness all around the body and in the mind. It's intangible, but there's a sense of aliveness. Well, let's meditate for a few minutes. And if you want, the inquiry can be, what other qualities are there to this Qi, this vast spaciousness? What are some other qualities? Or you don't have to do that. That's just a suggestion. If thoughts come up, notice them and then refocus on the space. If physical sensations come up, notice them and then refocus on the space. It's natural to fluctuate between physical sensation and boundlessness, or between mental objects and boundlessness. That's natural to flip between them. Don't try to hold to either one. And so you might want to inquire, what is this flipping from boundlessness to form, from space of the mind to thoughts, to back to space of the mind, from sensations to spaciousness, back to what is this that's flipping? And that may bring you into a place of stillness that does not change, doesn't flip. All right, let's take a few more breaths. And then slowly move your fingers a little bit or toes, slowly. Come back. Okay, and let's put aside our stool. Okay, and let's just go into Trembling Mountain. And so we can very clearly sense the motion here. And can you sense the stillness? Okay, on the count of 3, let's stop. 1, 2, 3. So we can bring the attention into the body and feel the body. It's quite overwhelming. And then with the out breath, extend that out, extend the senses way out. And what is feeling? What is this? Okay. Let's go into the Qigong aspect of this. So starting with the right hand and focusing on the middle finger and the index finger. So dip the knees, point to the center of the body, in breath, eyes follow the hand. We're bringing the attention up the inside of the spine or up the central channel of the body, out to the roof of the head, top of the head, out, and then down the inside front of the body. And switch hands, in breath, breathe naturally. Out breath, breathe naturally. In breath. Do this at whatever pace you want. This is Qigong that can be done fairly rapidly using both hands, or it can be very, very slow using one hand. Or using both. So one up, one down, and then continue. So we're visualizing laser beams of light coming through the fingers and into the body, moving the energy through the body in this sort of oval. Touches briefly, it touches heaven and touches earth. Okay, let's reduce the movements of the hands. Now have a felt sense of that orbit, that microcosmic orbit within the body. Use just your eyes to look up the spine, out the top of the head, down the front, down the perineum. And now let's do this pulling taffy. So side to side at the heart. Can you touch into the up and down also? So there's this vertical through the body, up and down, left and right. Up and down come together in the heart, left and right come together in the heart. Yeah, let's do touching heaven, touching earth. Extend, come back. Extend, come back. Okay, let's hold here at the heart. In breath comes in, out breath goes out in all directions. So with the out breath, shoot out. In breath. Out breath. In breath. Let's do one more. Okay, let's return to sitting. And with the next out breath, just let there be a little smile. Let the breath become smooth and even. And if thoughts appear, that's just the energy flipping from formlessness to form. Same with physical sensation, it's perfectly fine. And while you're finishing the meditation, there's a couple things I want to mention about this. So the Qigong, as you know, exists at different levels. And one level of Qigong is to feel good. We suffer a lot in our lives, everyone does. And just being able to do Qigong and feel relaxed and open and alive, to feel good, that is a legitimate, I don't want to say goal, but that's a legitimate practice, to feel good. I want to be careful, though, to say that Qigong goes much deeper than that. So it goes into Nigong. The focus of Nigong is healing. It's healing the self and healing others. So it's not just the solitary person. It's also interactive, healing the environment, healing others. And Shengong is the spiritual quality. And the direction, the thrust of that is into boundlessness, formlessness. Or as the Taoists would say, the birth of the cosmic embryo, being birthed into the cosmos. So we want to sense the body, we want to move and be aware of the body, relax the body, keep it healthy. That's good. We want to feel good. We want to have pleasurable sensations. And that's good. But what can happen with the bliss or the pleasure that you can have in Qigong or in meditation is we can grasp for it. We like it and we want more, more, more. And that turns the whole wheel of grasping and delusion. So we want to inquire, what is this that feels pleasant? And the inquiry and the depth will take us beyond our interpretation of these sensations, which is we interpret it, we say it's pleasant. That's going through the mind. We make it into a thing. We want to go deeper into the Qigong, where we can begin to experience boundlessness and contemplate and manifest the qualities of boundlessness or awakening. So joy is a quality, happiness is a quality. Maybe you came up with some other ones, maybe freedom, energy, adventure, compassion, kindness, love, equanimity, any of these things. That come with that sense of boundlessness. Because when we taste freedom, when we taste this bliss, this joy and this happiness, and have the ability to be in that state and stay in that state for a while, it will naturally awaken our compassion for ourselves and others when they are suffering. But first, we have to experience that liberation ourselves so that we have a place to stand for that compassion to arise for the billions of suffering beings in the world and for ourselves when we're suffering. So that's where this is really taking us. And the pleasure and the bliss and the joy and those things are very important and very good. The relaxation, the wellness, the health, all of this, very good. And this journey of this Qigong journey, the way, the Tao, the way of the Tao is never ending. So if we're stuck in a place that's too pleasant or too comfortable, then we need to inquire, okay, well, what is this? And take that backward step. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the hand clap. Ready? And the remove glasses. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, comments or questions about any of that?
I have one of each. When we were doing the Qigong, the part where we were pointing up and down, and you said we could kind of do it simultaneously, my eyes wanted to kind of go from the bottom up. It was, but then there was the next one at the bottom, so I wasn't following my hand as much. It felt a little confusing around for my
So
eyes.
your mind wanted to go up, but then when you went down,
yeah,
that's perfectly fine. Just repeat going up.
Yeah,
That's what you need. Yeah,
that's
what you need right now. And these things are taught. I don't teach these in a dogmatic way, and some of the Chinese teachers do, but they would say, "Oh, you must do this." You can reverse it. I don't see any problem with that. And if you feel like you need to do this going up for a while, then you do that.
Right. But then, of course, to get my eyes down, I had to go down.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
but
you can just drop them.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
Yeah, the thing, you guys have practiced a lot, and just go with your feelings on it, and let go of any instruction or tradition. This is why there are thousands of different Qigong forms, because there's many different teachers, many different people, bodies. You feel this way one day, you feel that way another day, and so you don't want to be rigid about what you're doing. And you can just really, maybe when you're just beginning, you'll want to really kind of stay with that, but you guys can trust your feelings about this.
So my comment that I want to make was that in the last several days, I've had an opportunity to kind of be in sacred space with a friend whose husband was dying. And the kind of energy I felt in that space was really, I have a different language based on today, a language I might apply to that. And then that he did die that evening. The next day I went for a long walk and had some pretty incredible sandhill crane encounters, flyovers and so on, which I have different language for what that felt like. There was that element. I mean, and I've been trying to write about describing, what I saw and heard. There were big pauses in between where I felt like I was in, and it hadn't occurred to me until today to talk about it as just boundless space, connective, boundless space with these creatures. And so anyway, this was a really, thank you for this particular lesson on this particular day, because it's exactly, it's exactly right.
Well, I'm glad, and the flying cranes have that. They have that, they're up in the air, they're free, they're flying. So they're kind of, it's a good practice to bring a sense into that, where some of the other practices bring you right back here, and you have to do both.
Yeah.
One of the insights I've had about all this is to stop trying to wrestle with the mind and make it do something. I mean, we do have to be disciplined with certain practices, certainly, concentration practice, but thoughts forming and then disappearing, this is our reality. Thoughts appear out of nowhere, linger, and then disappear. And our consciousness appears with the thought. It arises simultaneously. And that's the nature of reality. So it's just this formlessness into form into formlessness. And it's never more clear than it when you see a little baby being born or somebody dying. you know, but we're enacting that moment to moment to moment in our minds, in our bodies. It's what reality is. So the thoughts will eventually thin out, you know, but there's nothing wrong. Thinking is quite miraculous, actually. No one knows what it is. I remember this Buddhist story. I can't remember the name of the woman. I'm sorry, but it was a nun who went and stayed in you know, not exactly a cave, but a cave like or cabin or something for like 7 years, and did nothing but practice. And she came back, and someone said, "Well, what is the thought?" And she said, "I haven't the vaguest idea." So it's pretty miraculous. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Even if you just think about your grocery list, that's really pretty incredible that that's happening, you know? So that's just my take on that. Okay, anybody else? Yeah.
Hello, I have a question. I'm Lorelei. That's not my question though. I appreciated today's lesson. Thank you. And the last week or so, I've been thinking about some past lessons where you have, we've worked on this is now and that was then in the past.
Right.
And I'm wondering, for the things you worry about that hasn't happened in the future, what kind of movement, I mean, what do you do for, it's easier for me to put things in the past than it is to think about the future instead of staying in the this is now. So are there some...
Wow, I'm gonna contemplate that. That's a really good question. That's a really good question.
Okay, well then I'll tune in.
I don't know. Let's everybody contemplate that, because the thing about memory is that memory takes us out of the present moment. You know, because, oh, I've seen that tree 100 times. I don't even have to look at it, right? And so if we say, well, that was then, this is now, it can bring us in the present moment. But if our mind's going, if we're worrying about the future or thinking or planning, whatever, the future, well, we can say that hasn't happened, this is now. I guess that would be the corollary of it. But practices for that, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Well, think about it and try it physically.
I've been trying to find something to...
How would you do that? How would you express that with your body?
Right,
So,
when I'm doing the this is now, or that was the past.
that was then. We're putting it in the past, behind us.
I need to do this, I guess, when I'm trying not to worry about
But this is in front of us.
Right, it's in front of you, it hasn't happened yet.
That hasn't happened.
Right.
This is now.
Yes, this is now.
Was it? That hasn't happened. This is now. How about that? That hasn't happened. This is now.
There you go.
So this is where Qigong comes from. Is you invent a body manifestation of something like that. So this is yours, Lorelei. Yeah. Are you going to come next time? If you show up next time, why don't we all see, just for fun, how would you express that with your body? We have that was then, this is now. So what would be, that's the future, this is now, or that hasn't happened yet, or something. That's a great idea, because man, I'm worried about the election.
Yeah, I
It
suggest.
hasn't happened yet.
I suggested a finger salute to go with that for certain topics.
Well, I'm doing voter protection tomorrow. I'm going to voting places and monitoring them, kind of as a practice.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
The primary?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an election tomorrow. It's a
Well,
primary.
thank you for...
Yeah, it's a dry run.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Let's try to practice. How do we say it? That hasn't happened. This is now. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't mean we can't plan.
Right.
We definitely can plan, but
Absolutely.
we don't want to get hooked.
You want to get wrapped up in it like you do in the past. You put it behind you, whereas it's not happened yet, so you don't have to worry about that right at the moment.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I'm gonna make a note of that. We'll do that next time.
All right, thanks.
Okay, all right, great to see y'all. Have a good one.